Hello everyone, welcome to Gray Matter, your soon-to-be one-stop shop for all your exam preparation needs. Today we're going to talk about the Plab 2, and in particular the Plab 2 exam day. Now I'm going to walk you through your whole exam day from the point you enter the center till when you leave. Now speaking of exam centers, your center may be Hardman Square in Manchester or Hardman Street in Manchester. These exam centers are very close together, but make sure you know where your exam is exactly, and you can find that in your Plab 2 booking confirmation email. And once you know where your exam is, I would recommend visiting it before your exam day to make sure you know how to get there. You take a look at the building, okay, and that helps with anxiety as well. Now, once you know your exam center, the other thing you want to remember is that these centers are virtually the same. Street used to be a bit different. Street had bigger rooms. The rooms didn't have any doors. The rooms were further apart, and there were more telephone and video consultations in Street. And this was because Street was a special center created during the pandemic. So it had particular features that were more relevant for the pandemic. Now that the pandemic has passed, they have renovated Street to look like Square, to have the same internal architecture as Square. So it doesn't matter where your exam is. You'll get different stations in Street and Square, but the overall nature of the exam and the proportion of stations from each domain will be similar in Street and Square. Okay. Another thing you'll find in your booking confirmation email is the arrival time. Is your arrival time 8:30 a.m. or is it 11:30 a.m.? Are you in the morning shift or the afternoon shift? Now, why do I call 11:30 the afternoon shift is even though you show up at 11:30, your exam starts a bit late after 12, so it becomes the afternoon shift. Okay, so morning shift and afternoon shift, see when your exam is exactly. So now you know when you need to get to the center and you know where your center is. Now let's talk about the exam day. You enter the center. What's going to happen is that you're going to go to the reception and ask them when they'll start receiving the Plab 2 candidates. They'll tell you to wait, okay, and you can just sit on a sofa and wait for someone to show up with a clipboard with a big old sign on a big old page saying Plab 2. Okay, and this person is hard to miss. They have a clipboard with a big old sign, so you'll definitely know when they show up. This person will ask all the candidates to come in and line up to check their GMC reference number. And once that happens, once everyone's lined up and everyone's GMC reference number is checked, they'll send you in groups of 8 or groups of 7 or whatever into a lift to go up to the floor where you're going to have your Plab 2 exam. Once you get to that floor, there will be another reception where they will ask you to take out your passport. The only thing for identification will be your passport. So make sure you have your passport on exam day. They're going to take a look at the picture in your passport, take a look at you, and then they're going to put a sticker on your passport and keep it with them. Okay? They'll return your passport at the end of the exam. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you to take off any kind of caps you may have on, or scarves you may have on, or anything at all on your head or face, even your glasses, and they'll take a picture of you. Once they take a picture of you, they are going to escort you to a bunch of lockers, and they will give you a locker, and you'll put your phone and your jacket or whatever else you've brought with you, all your belongings, into the locker, and you will take the key from that locker and put it around your neck. So the key will have a lanyard or a piece of string around it, and you will have to wear it around your neck at all times. Another thing that's going to happen is that they're going to give you a sticker, and that sticker will have your name and your GMC number and another number on it. We'll talk about that other number, but your GMC number and your name will be on that sticker, and they will ask you to put that on your shirt. And this is going to happen before they take your picture, okay? Now, once they've taken your passport, they've put your belongings in the locker, and they have put that sticker on your shirt. What they're going to do is they're going to ask you to wait for a little bit. Once all the candidates show up, they'll escort all of you to a waiting room. Once you're in the waiting room, they'll tell you what's going to happen in the exam. They'll brief you. They'll say a couple of things. I mean, they'll do a whole run through of the exam, okay? And the chief invigilator will come in and talk to you as well. And they're going to answer any questions you have and just make you feel welcome. And another thing they'll tell you is that while you're in the waiting room, you can help yourselves to refreshments. The refreshments in the waiting room may be tea, coffee, biscuits, and water. Another thing you can do while you're in the waiting room is go to the bathroom. And you will wait in the waiting room for maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, just depends on the exam day, okay? If you're in the afternoon shift, what's going to happen is while you're in the waiting room, they're going to escort everyone that gave their exam in the morning shift out of the building, okay? But if you're in the morning shift, you're the only candidates there, so they'll just start your exam a little bit earlier. Okay, now once they escort you out of the waiting room, what they're going to do is that they are going to take you to a corridor or a hallway. Okay, and in this hallway there will be rooms on either side, and there will be 18 rooms in total. 18 rooms in total, and there will be 18 candidates as well. So one candidate in front of each room. 18 rooms, 18 candidates. Why is that so? Because there are 18 stations in the Plab. 2 of these rooms may be empty. And nobody knows which rooms these are. While you're in the waiting room, you can ask which rooms will be the rest stations. Okay? And they'll tell you which number room will be the rest station. So the rooms are labeled 1 through 18 as well, okay? And your number I was talking about on the sticker, there was your reference number, your name, and your station number as well, so the station you're going to start on. So while you're in the waiting room, you can ask them which station is the rest station, just to see if you're going to start on a rest station or end on a rest station, or when the rest station is going to show up in your exam, okay? That's just a little tip if you want to plan ahead of time. But anyways, 1 through 18, and 2 of these rooms will be rest stations, like I said, and they are going to be empty, completely empty. You're just going to go and sit in these rooms, and you can have biscuits, you can have water, and they'll ask you if you want to go to the bathroom, okay? Now, what is going to happen in the rest of these rooms? Once you enter one of these rooms, you'll find that in the corner, an examiner is sitting with a tablet in front of them. Very close to them, and in the opposite corner, will be a patient. And in front of that patient will be a table. And there will be a few things on that table, maybe or maybe not, but more often than not, there is something on the table, and this is important, and we'll discuss the importance of the table and the things on it later on in other videos. But in front of the table, there will be a chair, an empty chair for you. And you will enter the room, you'll greet the examiner, sit on the empty chair, and start your consultation with the patient. That's the inside of a station. Coming to the outside of the station will of course have a door with a slim window, and you can look through that window. And next to the door there will be a page. And this page will have information about the role play or the simulation inside. So they'll tell you who you are. You will be an FY2 or a junior doctor, where you are in the GP, in the A&D, in the OPD, whatever, right? And they'll tell you information about the patient as well. Patient info, okay? And lastly, they'll tell you your task. What do you need to do inside of the station? Now, what you need to understand here is you're going to get 90 seconds to read this page. Then you're going to enter the room, enter the station, and you'll have 8 minutes inside to complete the task. Okay? Now, in your Plab exam, you have no reference for time, except for the almighty bell. The bell will ring to tell you to start reading the page outside of the room. You'll have 90 seconds to read this page. The bell will ring after 90 seconds to tell you to enter the room, okay? And then an 8-minute timer will start, and you will have no way of telling how much time has elapsed, okay? You just know that the bell rang and your 8-minute timer has started. The next thing, or the next bell, will be at 6 minutes. So after 6 of these 8 minutes have passed, another bell will ring to prompt you or tell you that 2 minutes are left. And then a bell will ring once the 8 minutes have passed completely to tell you to leave the room, okay? So that's how the bell works, okay? And once you leave the room, you move to the next station. So it's a circuit. You enter the room, you leave the room, move on to the next station, enter the room, leave the room, move on to the next station, and all these 18 candidates rotate through these rooms, okay? Now, I was talking about time. Now, you have no reference for time because, remember, when you go for the Plab 2 exam, you need to be bare up to your elbows, bare elbows, okay? And bare means you can't have anything on your fingers, on your wrists, no rings, no bracelets, no watches, nothing at all. That is why you have no reference for time, okay? So your only reference is the bell, but at the ends of this hallway, you will find a big old TV that tells you the time, okay? So it'll show you your 90 seconds. The big old TV, okay? So, and it'll tell you which number station you're on, okay? So you can keep track of how many stations have passed, and you can see how much time is left outside of your 90 minutes. But otherwise, 8 minutes is something that you just have to develop 8 minutes are something you have to develop an internal clock for, okay? Now, what's going to happen once you have completed your exam? They're going to line you up, take you out of the corridor or the hallway, back to the reception. You can collect your passport, collect your belongings, and then you'll leave the center. Remember, do not talk to anyone about the exam. Don't talk to anyone about the exam. They are looking at you. You don't want to discuss the stations or anything at all with anyone. Just leave the exam center, call home, tell them how your exam went, go for a walk, chill out, and you'll be fine. Okay? So that is how the exam is conducted. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.